Hi. I'm Anna.
I'm Fo.
And I'm Alex. Our goal was to create a MarbleSequencer, a sequencer controlled by placing different colored marbles in a designated holder to give musicians a more visual, simple, and hands-on approach to music composition and performance. The sequencer is started when a player presses the green button, and they can loop through different loops or sample by pressing the red button. And then we've got an instrument selector so that the player can select different instruments, instrument sounds and reason patches, and also a potentiometer to control the tempo.
Then when you place balls around the circle, you can place them in any order, and the different colors of the balls represent different notes. So you can build up to 3 different layers of loops and 3 different layers of melodies.
Yeah, and so our implementation was quite successful, and now we're going to go over the structure, the software, and the hardware.
So this is our instrument. The majority of the outside was laser cut out of wood, and then the bottom was laser cut out of acrylic. This component's a living hinge. Basically that's when you make a series of cuts in the wood, you can make it bendable. And then up top we have holes. All this stuff was measured and did some experimentation with how big to make the holes so that the marbles would sit nicely and easily without being too difficult to move. And then all the color sensors are with custom mounts that were 3D printed with PLA and NOLOP. This went through a few iterations with varying distances from the top, and we ended up on a pretty close one. And yeah, that's about it.
Alright, so we've got 4 analog sensors and then 8 color sensors. Really quickly to go over the analog sensors. So this is the start-stop button. We press it and then we can notice a 1 showing up here. We let it go. And then same for the loop button. And then here we've got the instrument selector, which is the 3rd one. And then when we iterate through, you've got a position from 0 to 9 for 10 different positions. And then finally, this is just a potentiometer that gives us a value from 0 to 1023. So we can kind of put it wherever we want, and that will determine the tempo. And then we've got the 8 color sensors, where essentially we use red, green, blue, or white or yellow marble, where then they'll get shown up here. So this is a red marble, so it gets shown up as a 1, and then green is 2, and blue is 3. And then the next 2 are the yellow marble, which will be a 4, and then you've got 5 for the white marbles. So we've done extensive testing on them, and we're getting really good results, so that's been very promising. Oh yeah, a -1 would be no marble detected.
Okay, this is our max code. The first thing that happens is that we read in data into these levels here. So as we put different marbles around these sensors in any order, you can see these start to change. And every different color represents a different note. And what note it plays depends on these guys, and each of them are unique. So if we then hit the start button, we can start playing sounds. So it plays through the first loop that you create. You can change the tempo, so you can make it faster. You can also make it slower. And then you can also change the instrument. So we can change to like a bass sound, or a drum sound, back to the Geiger pad, electric flute, and there's a whole bunch of different sounds that you can change to. We have 10 in total. And then, what else? So once you build the first loop, then you can hit the button to go to the second loop and start building that. You can change everything around to make a new sound. I don't know. Leaving something blank means that there's no note being played. And you can see everything updating here. And then building the next loop. Actually, well, yeah. And then let's change the instrument for this one. And then again, we change everything around. And then at the very end, if you want to go back to the first one, you hit the loop button again, and it only plays the top one. So it just layers from the top. So it goes 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and then goes back to 1. And I think that's it. Okay. Oops. There we go. Oh. There we go. This one.
Speed it up.
So for future improvements, it would be really great if in the max patch we were able to have more loops, and then also be able to go back and forth between loops instead of having to go through all of them in one direction.
As the saying goes, bigger is better. So we'd like to make some expansions. We'd like to double the number of color sensors so that we can do 4 measures of 4/4, and then make it so that we have ideally 12 total different marble colors that can be recognized so that we can cover a full Western scale.
And in terms of the structure and the hardware, I think it'd be nice if a player wasn't so reliant on looking at the max patch, and by doing so we would integrate LEDs for the start-stop button and maybe the loop state, and just so that a player would be able to have a visual cue and not be dependent on just looking at the matrix.